Audio Jungle.
I'm Herb C. I'm managing partner with Think Big Partners.
My name is Blake Miller, partner here at Think Big Partners.
And so a lot of people ask us, what exactly is Think Big Partners? And we'd like to try and explain that because there's a lot of moving parts. And Blake, I don't know how many times for a cup of coffee or a beer or a conversation that I'm not expecting to have, I try and explain it and it turns into like a 3 or 4 minute
I
dialogue.
only kind of explain like a third of it maybe at any given time.
Yeah.
But a lot of what we've done really though is create something that we saw a void in the community or something like that. So it's everything we do really is about what helps the community.
Absolutely. So let's try and explain our origin story and what Think Big Partners is all about. So we started out with the idea of how do we become an incubator? And as an entrepreneur that's made more than my fair share of mistakes, I know that I want to be able to find a way to avoid all the things that I wish that I knew about. So we started off in the incubator space. As we started working with companies and building up even our own ideas, we found that people started wanting to office with us. So then we got into the workspace model. So starting in 2009, when we originally started Think Big Partners, and we moved downtown to Kansas City, we had the incubator, we had the workspace, and then all of a sudden the idea, based on our own experience and need, was the accelerator phenomena.
Yeah, so accelerators were great. We ran one in 2011 and 2012, 2 different batches. And the way that we looked at accelerators were much more about how do we provide services and things that entrepreneurs needed but couldn't find here, specifically in Kansas City. And a lot of it was because kind of the community wasn't really coalescing around each other yet. And so that was something that we used to kind of really help catalyze the community at the time.
Right, so the evolution, like what I saw was you had an incubator, you had an accelerator, obviously you have to workspace, you got to work somewhere, right? And then all of a sudden what was really interesting that happened was large companies started showing up. And the large company dynamic was really interesting because we found that they needed something from entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs had something to offer the large companies. What did you see from the entrepreneur side?
Well, I think from the entrepreneur side, most entrepreneurs are always trying to solve a specific problem, right? Some are solving boredom and building things like Angry Birds and everything like that. But what we saw here in Kansas City, where there were a lot of entrepreneurs that were coming out of large companies that were saying, I see this problem, I can't believe nobody's solving it, I'm going to go solve it myself. And they were solving them, they were building great solutions. And I think that what we saw, and with a lot of the experience that we had was, if you can pair them up with these large companies, they become their own distribution channels. It becomes a way that those companies can grow. And so that was kind of how we continue to evolve our accelerator model, at least my opinion.
Right, no, I would agree. I know that the large companies were surprised. The entrepreneurs offered agility, creativity. They could break rules that were, they wanted to break them, they couldn't because of corporate bureaucracy or speed. And in return for that, the entrepreneurs found with the large companies, you had great customer relationships, expertise, depth, distribution channels that you mentioned, and the opportunity to pair those two together with innovation partnering was really an amazing opportunity.
Yeah, no, I mean, I just looked at what we were doing at the time and what we're obviously doing now is it short circuits the life cycle of building that company, right? And nowadays, like, you can build a company so quickly with cloud computing and all of these other things that it's changed significantly even what it was in 2009, 10, 11. And so, being able to pair that up really short circuits it.
Right, no, I would agree. The greatest thing that we found was when the large companies and the entrepreneurs all got together in the same room, what happened then was magic. It was the community piece. And all of a sudden you've got a small company, it could be 1 or 2 people working together, they become 5 or 6, become 8 or 10. And all of a sudden now you got these high growth companies being created, and all of a sudden the beneficiaries are not only the entrepreneurs, not only the large companies, but the communities, because now you're building jobs and knowledge and opportunity and economic vibrancy, and innovation districts start springing about, and it all comes back to a place where people can work with ideas that are flowing in, and it always begins and ends with one single person. And so that's really the community benefit, and that's why I think we've seen so much benefit here in Kansas City. So Blake, what are some of the biggest things that you see entrepreneurs need?
I think some of the biggest things that entrepreneurs need is access, frankly. That's access to investors, it's access to developers, technologists, creative people. And when you look at Kansas City, we have a lot of those things, but it's been so fragmented for so long that nobody really knew what flag to go to or wherever it might be. So I think a lot of what we do is we provide access and we provide that network or the connectivity to those people.
Well, we hope that explains Think Big Partners a little bit. Think Big Partners, again, comes out of the incubator, the accelerator, the co-working space model, building workspaces for entrepreneurs and innovators. And if we all work together with the large companies and we're successful, then we're able to build better communities, which create jobs, economic development, innovation districts, and things that really take good ideas and turn them into profitable companies. And And so through incubation, innovation, entrepreneurship, we're able to harness the power of the entrepreneurs nationwide to be able to solve problems. And that to me gets me really excited, Blake.
Sure does.
Yeah, so we invite for you to continue staying tuned to other video series. And if you would like to get involved with Think Big Partners, please contact us. We're always looking for the next big idea, and think big.
Think big.